Now, here's the question. Do you follow up a lead because they haven't inquired or they haven't followed up your follow-up, and then you actually lead and go and try and follow up their follow-ups because they haven't said yes to your quote? Or do you follow up and lead with value? Do you be proactive in the relationship, offering extra support and going above and beyond in your entertainment business? Two very different sides of the coin, yet you'd be surprised at how many people just chase and follow up and do random stuff for the sake of the exercise, more so than actually being valuable. And that's exactly what we're going to be exploring in this wonderful episode of Just the Tip today. Ashley, what are we talking about? Why are we talking about this? Why is this important?
Well, far too often, entertainers just try and get out there and do the bare minimum of what they need to do, and they do it without even realizing it. They just think they're doing what they need to do and going above and beyond, when in fact, in quotation marks, they're being lazy or not focusing on the right things which are really going to push the needle. You know, there's two things, and before recording this podcast, we spoke about being reactive and being proactive. Like you mentioned there, are you going to be reactive, like when someone inquires, you just like literally go, okay, brilliant, here's a quote. And a few days later, you go, have you made up your mind? And have you made up your mind? And then they get back in contact and be like, oh, yeah, you're too expensive. And you're like, well, okay, I'll just drop my price to this. And it's like that awkward back and forth. Or are you proactively going out there so that you can give them the information to make you seem like a professional and look absolutely amazing? On the other hand as well, rather than waiting for gigs to come in, those leads to come in, are you being proactive and actually getting out there so that you can book more? You can get more clients into your funnel. You can get more leads in through maybe cold calling.
I think cold calling gets a bit of a bad rep, and we can probably talk about that in a second. But I think it's a bizarre situation to be able to lead with value. And you said something there about seeming like a professional. And I think there's a very big difference between seeming like a professional and actually being a goddamn professional, which is so capable for every person listening to this podcast right now. You might even just be a hobbyist or somebody who loves a couple of tricks here, doing a family party every so often. You don't really jump into the world of professional corporate entertainment or something like crazy like that. But again, if you can be proactive and position yourself as a professional, regardless of your experience, that will go so much further. And in terms of cold calls, that's usually the one that gets a bad rep, because it's all awkward salesperson, sleazy sales guy trying to flog you something that you don't really want and you've got no need for, but they're trying to make you buy it because that's their job and they've got sales targets. Don't be that guy, first of all. Don't be that guy, ladies and gentlemen. That is pointless. But instead, cold calling can work really effectively, providing you are leading with value. You're being proactive in the relationship that's being had. Now, what does that actually mean? What does that actually look like? Well, let's keep it seasonal, because that's what we're talking about this month, talking about seasonal events. Say, as Christmas is coming up, you want to start blocking in some Christmas parties. Well, you've got two options, really. You can either wait for the inquiries to come in, or you can go and fill up your diary now so that you can take your mind off of all of the admin stuff, get it all done out of the way, and just focus on making a really good set of performances through December and smash into 2022 or whatever year you're listening to this with an absolute bang. It's totally up to you. But that can only come from being proactive, starting right now, leading with some form of value. You phone up and just talking, hey, look, are you doing a Christmas party? Like, you've got two options there. Yes or no. Even a sort of is a yes. And then you can actually lead from there. So actually, maybe it'd be great for you to give some examples here. Like, what do we do if somebody says, no, I'm not doing a Christmas party. Why are you calling?
And that's where most people fail, and then you just become the annoying person cold calling, because what do you do in that moment? Most people try and persuade and then try and pitch a service. However, the reason why they're saying no, if we get inside our client's head, they might be saying, no, I'm not arranging a Christmas party because A, we've left it too late. B, we don't have the budget for it. C, John was delegated it and John doesn't know how to do a Christmas party. He hasn't got a clue. So this year we're just not going to have one, or any other reason. So we could be proactive and maybe gives them some advice. If they say no, it's like, oh, brilliant. Well, I tell you what, let me lead this with you so that you can have a look. And if you do get round to having a Christmas party, here's some tips or so. And you might just do that by sending them like, I don't know, a YouTube video with some like specific details on there, a blog. Or you might have just like a short little PDF with a couple of bullet point tips, something which is actually going to be of service, of value for those people which you're calling. Because if you're calling a company, for example, every company has Christmas parties. And if they say no, there's clearly a deeper problem. And if we can solve that with some information and help out that way, well, first of all, we look like absolute badasses and we're amazing for those people the other end of the phone because we've gone in immediately helped them with clearly a problem that they've not even said. And secondly, we've now turned that no to a yes without having to be selly or pushy, therefore upping our conversions to get more leads in. Then the next step is obviously selling the show after that. But it's a really, really surefire process, which is super effective. And it doesn't mean that you have to say, oh, you're not having a Christmas party? Well, I tell you what, have you not thought about doing this? I think you should, blah, 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 blah. Please book me.
It seems desperate. And actually, when you can do this thing of like preempting what they're going to say, and then it's basic sales at the end of the day, overcoming objections, understanding what their challenges and their problems and their reactions might be, and being able to support that, which at the end of the day, we're magicians, we're mentalists. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to know what our audiences are going to do, how they're going to behave, what's going to happen. Like it's a lot of plots of mentalism actually revolve around that concept in and of itself. And again, when you on a call with somebody, we're just using cold calls as an example here. This isn't an episode about cold calls. It's just it easily illustrates the point of being proactive. And you get on that phone and they say, regardless of what they say, yes or no, you've got something valuable for them, whether that is a YouTube, a blog, or ultimately play to your strengths here. Don't go and write a blog because we've said to, but it doesn't take a lot, like a quick short PDF of 7 tips to make your Christmas party awesome. And in there you plug yourself. That in and of itself could work really, really well for you. But for others, the YouTube, just like Ashley said, play to your strengths. But if you know what people are going to think ahead of time, how they're going to respond, yes, no, especially beautiful when it's binary, is almost like you're really reading their minds. It's almost like you're really prepared for exactly what was coming. And as a result, you can navigate the conversation. You get control of what would be a cold call, and you instantly turn the temperature up to flipping warm. It's so easy, so effective. And whenever you see that in marketing anywhere, if you look into the world of digital marketing and you think that's cold traffic or cold leads or XYZ, find a way to warm them up before they actually do anything. It's a beautiful opportunity. And just simply by looking at what are the decisions, what is the position that they're in, what is the binary that I can help them with straight out, and then creating that value up front, it's going to go so much further and actually help you in this journey of being proactive.
100%. And what we touched on here at the beginning with actually following up people after a quote. I remember a few weeks back, Aidan, when we was actually looking into our Learn to Thrive course with a few of our students, who was actually talking about kind of the follow-up process to follow up and not be like, have you made up your mind yet? What are your thoughts? But actually going in and saying, hey, by the way, just suddenly thought of this. Here's a blog I wrote, which is 7 tips for the perfect wedding day. Thought you might find it handy. You've gone straight in. It's like you've just messaged them. You're now on their mind again. They've got that to look through. First of all, you're super handy. You now are that professional because you know your stuff. They can see that you know that stuff. And secondly, without saying it, it's kind of like that hidden saying, because as soon as they open that message and see your message, they're going to think, oh gosh, Ashley's quote. Oh gosh, Aidan's quote. Oh my gosh, Bob's quote. Oh yeah, let me have a look around that. Oh, let me get back to them about that. And it's like you've chased them up without being pushy as well. Another little win.
Exactly that. And if you can spend the time, get rid of all the crap that you don't want, really streamline what it is that you're doing and get so effective at what you're doing through systems or any other approach that you like to make sure that you're on top of everything, then you get the beauty of being proactive. It's a gift to you because you're not bogged down by all of the grind and the hustle that as entertainers we're so good at filling our diaries with. Instead, we get to focus on delivering value, being the best that we possibly can be in our mindset, our business, our performance, and our health. And overall, our quality of life is going to skyrocket. And it's really as simple as that. Streamline and get proactive today.
Easy peasy. And Aidan, if anyone wants any help with this, is there a place where they can go so that they don't have to put ages and ages and ages developing this process by themselves, where they can actually condense it right down and get thriving and hustle through really in a short space of time, like 7 weeks?
It's an awfully specific number. It's almost as if you knew we had a course called Learn to Thrive, designed to do exactly that, get you thriving and hustle-free in your entertainment career. Our mission is quite simply to strip away all of the stuff that you don't want, orient you on the right direction and the right path for you, customized for you, and build you a career, ultimately, that is based on being proactive, that you can love, you can enjoy, and gives you all of the benefits. If you want to find out more about this course, head over to thriveinmagic.com. If you have a read through the website, you feel like it's a great fit for you, or you like the sound of what we've been talking about over recent podcasts, etc., pop a little free application in and we'll be able to talk to you and send you some more details about the course. But that is thriveinmagic.com. We're looking forward to hearing from you.